calls after phone calls after phone calls. And I'm proud to tell you that tonight, because of their efforts, because of the efforts of our team, I know Lori Silvera and Christian and Laura Max, their work, our campaign today has dialed and made over 17,000 phone calls in this district today. 17,022 when they were handed me this card. And as you know, Panama City is an hour behind us, so they're still making phone calls over there. But I want to say thank you so much to Lenny Curry, thank you for being here tonight. Pastor Larry, thank you for the wonderful prayer. Matt, again, I know the College Republican, just an incredible organization, the largest one in the Southeast. Elizabeth, I don't know if you're still here, but honey, thank you for blessing us with the national anthem tonight. Fabulous work tonight. I want to say our CFO. You know, Jeff and I, we were down at the Republican convention. We got to visit with he and his family. What a fine representative we have to help us understand how critical it is. As our CFO, if you lose control of your money, you lose control of your future. Chief, thank you. American Conservative Union, thank you for what you do. I know I've gotten to know Al. Obviously, to have him in that position, being from Florida, is wonderful. I'm very proud of that organization and what they do to really set the standard and the bar for conservatism. And to my dear friends, I want you to know that I didn't pay Joe or Martha to come. They actually decided to come. And before I reflect on them a few moments, I want to thank you. I want to thank Brewster Associated Industries for allowing us to be here. Brewster, thank you so much. What a great organization. A great facility. You do great work representing industry in this state. You understand that if we don't have a robust economy in the state of Florida, then we don't have opportunity, and we won't have companies moving here, we won't be creating jobs. And I'm proud to not only call Brewster family, but also to have this organization here representing industry. Thank you so much. I want to say also that to you that have come and given us a couple hours of your time. Thank you so much for being here. I know that you have our finance team, so many of our volunteers, our core people that make this happen in Leon County. They've invited you. I want to thank all of them. I could not be here without their support. I want to thank all of you. I'm humbled that you're here. And then to Martha and Joe. You know, Joe's a veteran. Joe is wise. He understands. As a conservative, he understands the challenges we face. And to have someone like Jo Bonner and Jeff Miller, I know Jeff was with us yesterday, to have men like Jo Bonner and Jeff Miller that we can turn to, Martha and I, as freshmen, to ask for their guidance, to ask for their counsel, because we don't know everything. And it's so nice to have that steady hand. And then to have them offer. And let me say this, I didn't call. They called. They said, we want to come to Florida too. We want to come to Tallahassee. We want to help you. Yesterday, Jeff Miller came in and he helped me meet with veterans. You know, you're hearing a lot about my opponent talking about how I don't care for veterans. But I'm here to tell you, that's garbage. My grandfather, Ray Southerland, my grandfather served in the South Pacific in World War II. He answered the call. He came home after war with a 6th grade education, an honorable discharge, and $3,000 of borrowed money. And he started a little business. My grandfather, his DNA is in me. And I take this attack today personally. He refuses to debate me on the facts. So he must lie. I am so blessed that I have friends and colleagues like Joe and Martha who come here and support me unsolicited didn't ask. Because they understand that I need to get back, and they also understand that I need them to get back. Because America is under attack. And if you look at the attacks that have been levied against me, it's not about the issue. You know what? Our economy is stuck in the mud. We were over 8% unemployment for 43 consecutive months. I wouldn't want to talk about that either. I would be proud of 7.8%. You know, growth of our economy last quarter was 2%. I wouldn't want to talk about that. I wouldn't want to talk about 47 million Americans being on food stamps. That's not fun to talk about. I wouldn't talk about that either. I wouldn't talk about gas that 4 years ago was $1.70 a gallon. Now it's over $3, $3.50 a gallon. I wouldn't want to talk about that. That's not fun to talk about. I wouldn't want to talk about how the average median income has fallen over $4,000 in 4 years. I wouldn't want to talk about that either. And because I couldn't talk about that, because I couldn't talk about millions upon millions of people that are living in poverty in this country, I wouldn't talk about that either. The policies of this administration. So what would I do? What would I do if I could not argue and debate Steve Southerland? If I refused to appeal to 700,000 people, to talk about the issue, to cast my vision out there, my vision that is in lockstep with the administration that's ushered that record in. What would I do? That's exactly what I would do. Okay? That's exactly what I would do. I would dust off the playbook of the man that was defeated 2 years ago, and I would levy against him the same allegation. You know what? A couple weeks ago, in a debate that he didn't show up in, my Senate challenger, Senator Lawson, called in to WFSU. Some of you may have heard that. It was supposed to be an hour debate. He called in 30 minutes into the debate. He didn't show up, so he called in. And he was given an opportunity to identify one policy where he differed from President Barack Obama. One bill, one policy that he disagreed. He could not find one bill. He could not identify cap and trade that's absolutely crushing our financial institutions down Main Street America. He couldn't talk about, Dodd-Frank. He couldn't talk about cap and trade, rising our health care bills, or the president's policy shutting down coal plants across the country. Out of Medicare. That's right. That's a fact. Taking $700 billion out of Medicare to finance and fund Obamacare. At a time where 10,000 seniors a day are going into Social Security and Medicare, taking that $700 billion away from doctors, hospitals, nursing homes, hospice, home health care, medical devices. Now is not the time to be taking options away from our seniors. Now's the time to be giving our seniors more options. Do you agree with me? And I'm thrilled to have Jo Bonner here because for months, probably almost a year, I was honored to sit with Jo Bonner, to sit with Jeff Miller, to sit with Steve Scalise, to sit with Steve Bellagio, to sit with Congressman Holtzman. We sat in a room together over again to make sure when the BP fines were levied against them because of violations of the Clean Water Act, that money, 80% of that money would flow to our states. Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas. Maybe, just maybe, my opponent. The reason he doesn't want to debate me, I wouldn't want to debate me either since I helped write the law. By myself, and that's not what I ever claimed. I claimed that I worked in partnership with my colleagues in the House to make sure that Florida and the other Gulf Coast states were made whole for a disaster they didn't create, they didn't ask for. That's only right. That our economies be restored and our environment be restored. And so I'm proud to have Jo here to help set the record straight. I'm also proud to have Martha here because Martha and I serve on the Agriculture Committee. And I'm going to tell you something. Martha Roby, that's a woman that's got moxie. That woman, I'm telling you, she believes in freedom. She believes in taking care of our farmers. She believes in taking care of our military. Sitting on Armed Services Committee, she understands that if we do not protect our military, the security is elusive. It's elusive. And so she understands the blanket of liberty that we enjoy is impossible without a strong military. So I want to say thank you to Jo. Martha, thank you for being here. Your presence means the world to me. And I thank you, please, help me. Thank you. Tonight all we ask, as Al mentioned a few minutes ago, we ask that you do all you can do next Tuesday. The attacks are going to continue on me because they won't talk about the issue. They won't. The attacks are going to continue. I want to thank you for your encouragement to me, Susan, and the girls. We're going to do exactly as we promised we would do. We've done that, and they don't like me because of that. Because I promised that I would go and I would fight for our individual freedom. I would fight to push more power back to the states because the federal government, like a raging river that has overflowed its banks, it is now flooding our homes. It is now flooding our businesses. It's now flooding our homes, our churches. It's flooding everything that we hold dear. We've got to push it back to within those banks. And I'm proud to have Jo and Martha as my colleagues to fight that fight. I need you next Tuesday. I need you to reach out to your family, your neighbors, your co-workers, your church members, your foursome, your fishing partners, your bingo partners. I need you to do everything within your power to make sure that on Wednesday morning we will have done everything to secure the blanket of freedom for our children and our grandchildren. God bless you. God bless you. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.